Well, finally I got somebody here to give me a hand with my camera work. And I got some bad news. I already took this here apart. The reason being is because when I hit the gas in a test, because it's been a while since I ran it, it's been about, I'd say probably about 2 months or so. It was about summertime I ran it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I come across this problem. This was wobbling real bad from up top. Now I'm going to show you the view that you would get without the rear end. Mind you, I'm going to point out some things, so just stick with me on this. Okay, your spur gear goes into that hole, into the receiver, and of course there's a ball bearing that's supposed to go through here. And I'm going to point out something up top here. See where the flex is with the spur gear, because there's nothing really holding it in there. See how it's shifting around in there? Also, you might notice, and what gave me a dead giveaway with me being a mechanic, you could see the center is ridged. The reason being is because there's no longer any ball bearings here. Now, let's see. The ball bearings are supposed to look like something like that guy there. Actually, let me drop that one. I don't think that's the right one. Then I know this is the right one because Traxxas normally has this blue film here. That blue film there that goes around here is like a locking plate. It's really basically a piece of rubber. It holds. I got the old pieces hot of the truck. As you can see, there's that blue rubber I was just telling you about there. It's kind of a little dirty. I didn't put no marine grease in there. DJ Medic scolded me. But as you can see here is a coupling. Is that going to focus in at all?
I'm trying, but it's just not doing it.
And hold it still. Back up a little bit. Anything?
Yeah, it focused better, but
It's kind of really hard to see it. They're really small. Right where my fingernail's going into is a hole. Here we go. Funnies for the video. Always a great thing. But they hold ball bearings into this plate. You hold it in here. Allows it to spin freely. Well, mine blew apart. And not just that. Traxxas has a plastic part in the differential of now we're going to call this a slipper clutch gear. But in the slipper clutch gear, they have a plastic unit here that is held down by this metal spring and locking nut. When you screw that in, it adjusts the stifferation for your slipper clutch to work. As you can see, I could spin it. It's a little loose. I just loosened it up, took the ball bearing off, and realized this. Putting this on here, it's too easy. And
it wobbles.
Exactly. You can see the play in there, and you shouldn't be able to pry it off like how I am with my fingers. You should be able to like push this on with a good pair of pliers. Now I also noticed right there, you could see the metal and the plastic right where my fingernails at. Forgive me for having long fingernails here, but I'm glad I kind of do. I could point some stuff out here to you. This spring here has actually melted into this plastic. Tomorrow being my birthday, I'm going to be going out to my local hobby store, and I'll be picking up an aluminum piece that I've already picked up and upgraded in my 4x4 Stampede. And I never had any issues with it, and I beat the living crap out of my four-wheel drive Stampede. Cody, I'm sure you can agree with me.
Yes, you did.
I did. I pounded that thing into the ground. It was a build video that I really wanted to do. Traxxas released a Gravedigger Edition 2-wheel drive Stampede, and me being a Monster Jam monster truck guy, I really wanted 4-wheel drive. Monster trucks are 4-wheel drives, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brushless power, awesome, right? Well, it was an awesome build. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get it here, but now I got a YouTube channel. It was challenged by iRockRC. He gave me a shout out today. It inspired me to make this video here. And tomorrow I'll be picking up that part like I said. we'll get that guy in. I'll show you what part number to order so you guys don't run into that issue. I do recommend, if you have a four-wheel drive Stampede that run this slipper clutch differential piece, to upgrade that. I'll give you a price, a part number, and a how-to on how to do things. Now I want to bring this back over to here real quick. Okay, nice thing about Slash 4x4 and Stampede, I know you don't know this, cameraman, but it's the same as the Stampede 4x4. It's 4 bolts. One by the top of the shock tower, left, rear, and you got one right rear, about an inch gap difference to it. Now, on the bottom of the back skid plate, or the differential covering, if you will, for the slipper clutch, you got 2 bolts here. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do. That's basically how it will line up. When you remove that bolt, and those 2 bolts up top, this here, all you do is pull it apart. It's that simple. It is really not that hard. My plastic piece up here at the top here is kind of a little broke. I beat this truck left and right, as if you couldn't tell the rusty hole opening there, where the ball bearing would fit into. Yeah, so that's my project build. I was gonna do a run video with this guy, and was unfortunately unable to because I heard a wicked loud noise and it just didn't sound right. And I know my truck, and I happened to just pull the cover off back here, which happens to be this screw here. Only I removed this screw already. You do not have to remove that screw. That screw could stay in there. I kind of pulled that on because it's been a while since I cracked this bad boy open. And all this does is just sit there, covers up your pinion gear, which is the small gear. And of course we already labeled the issue of the spur gear being a mesh. Now, pause button. Now tomorrow, when I do this, I will show you how to set this so it's not too tight, not too loose. And using a dollar bill, yes, dollar bill, Mr. Washington. We'll show you how we line them up in here to your spur gear to get the right pinion spur gear mesh. It will leave, there we go. It will leave a crinkle. It's kind of hard to see. There we go. It got a little focus there by my thumb. It'll leave a crinkle in your paper, and that's perfect for the gear mesh for this Slash 4x4 and Stampede. So keep in tune with me tomorrow. I might also have a big unboxing. Maybe. It's possible. Depending on how I get there or not. And how much money I have. So we're going to be doing some big things to this guy here. And maybe some nice, useful, how would you say?
Upgrades.
And also maybe, possibly a new RC. We don't know. Until tomorrow, so stay tuned, guys. Okay, so we put the ground pounder back up on stands. And the reason for that being is, yes, and I know, this dude and his ground pounder, just let it go. Yeah, I know, I feel the same way as you do, trust me. But I put it back up on jack stands because if there's anybody out there who's looking to get a ground pounder, my flash just went out. Thank you, Samsung. But anyways, long story short, my ground pounder's back up on stands because I really wanted to tell everybody that the 4-link suspension... Okay, so I really wanted to suggest, like I said, the 4-link suspension on how well it performed. I had some running time with it today, which was a treat. Unfortunately, my cameraman had some things to do. That's alright with me, as long as I can get them down in the future. I'm really happy with the 4-wheel drive 4-link suspension. I'm amazed by it. It handled some of the terrain so great. It actually outperformed itself from what I thought it would do. and it really amazed me. It gave me a great run time. I got to pull this battery pack out, give it a charge. It's a major upgrade. If anything, I would definitely upgrade that. I'm looking into maybe getting into these axles here somehow, and maybe upgrading to axial or something a little bit more prone to taking abuse or whatnot. It's kind of a little bit like of a real cheap scale plastic. Again, I wanted to put this up on a rack because a lot of people don't believe me, but would you agree with me? I put probably about anywhere from $500 to $600 in just motors alone in the old rig that we beat the living hell out of.
Yes, we put a lot of money in motors.
In fact, I think for my income tax check, just my income tax check alone, I spent like $350 and 2 bodies, which was, I believe, Monster Mutt and Grinder. I bought all motors. I can't tell you what they were. They were all different makes, models, and whatnot. And I just beat the crap out of this guy because I didn't know how to basically break in a brushed motor. And this guy here is out the box, other than the 4-link suspension and the Disney Cars headers and the 2-cell. Now, they say in the speed controller up front here that you're not really recommended, and I said this in another video, to run a LiPo. But I can tell you and back up that a 2-cell LiPo is perfectly fine in here. 3-cell, not so much. It will run for a little bit and it'll eventually catch fire. You don't want that to happen. But the truck, phenomenal. We're gonna get a new body on here. Christmas is coming up, right?
Yep.
2015 is coming up. Maybe we'll get a 2015 body, you know what I mean? Maybe we'll get rid of Lethal Threat and put something new in here, get my paint skills up, and do my first body, I think. By the way, Lethal Threat was not painted by me. It was painted by a guy named Eric that lives in the neighborhood, who's really good at doing RC bodies and whatnot, and I had him just go crazy with it. I said, just give me something different, and he mixed a bunch of colors up, and it actually turned into that purple. You can't buy that purple. It's a mixture of colors. Tune in next time. I'm off to bed, and I'll see you tomorrow.